Nagaland enjoyed a gala 3-day-long Northeast National Service Scheme Youth Festival 2014 and welcomed hundreds of delegates from all the 8 states of the region who formed strong bonds of unity and fraternity even as they made merry and danced together hand in hand to the tunes of lovely melodies belted out by some talented Naga singers at Indira Gandhi Stadium of capital city Kohima. The festival was sponsored by the Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sports and hosted by the state's Department of Youth Resources and Sports. Delegates of different states showed their culture in this unique get-together with the theme Rejuvenating the Youth Through Festivals. Talking on the occasion, Nagaland Parliamentary Secretary, Youth Resources and Sports, Mr. Krehu Lezitso said that in Nagaland, NSS has covered 48 institutions and has over 7,000 volunteers, and that festivals like these, which brought people of different states together, played a sterling role for nation building.
As we are all aware, the National Service Scheme is a central government-sponsored public service program, which is conducted by the Department of Youth Affairs and Sports, popularly known as NSS. The scheme was launched in Gandhiji's centenary year in 1969 and is aimed at developing the personality of students in higher secondary schools, colleges, and universities through community service.
The attending youth from different states said that they had learned a lot from each other. Interstate bus drivers of Manipur left their work and staged a sit-in protest on the 19th of June to highlight their outrage against abduction of their fellow driver, 44-year-old Naubi, resident of Yaripok in Thoubal district, Manipur, on the 14th of June from Jhakrabanda in Assam along the Imphal-Guwahati road. Militant group KCP of Lamyanba Khuman faction has claimed responsibility and asked the owners for a ransom. The underground group has also served an extortion notice demanding that bus owners pay a sum of Rs 2,000 per bus per year to the group. The drivers disclosed that every group asks for extortion amounts and it all adds up to quite a lot, which owners are unable and reluctant to pay, and the brunt has to be borne by the drivers. Drivers held up placards saying, "Stop exchanging money with human beings, save the life of the drivers, save the life of Naubi," etc. The protest stalled all interstate bus services and people who wanted to travel were seen stranded on the roads in front of the closed tour and travel companies. More than 70 buses offer trips from Imphal to Guwahati and Shillong.
Kaigumba Mazon Natraga counter da Paisa demand the Matamzida driver Pava Punbek the Taweva. Aduga Kaigumba Gari driver Mana Kudung Tivana, Basopa Kanagumana Pure Sire, Matam the D. Eh, Nang Pure do Canano Carina no ticket Bideva. Masim Tangjo, the way the water be winding ever. Tashana Isama yet Oyi Mishe Tangi Mamdi Mina Yona Tilaki Adu Matanga Iki कनोजे खबर कागज चाउना हापकी अदु कनाबो हंगबिदेबा सिगुमबददी तौद्रे ड्राइवर से हंजन हंजन फाबिएबा सिमतंगदी तोपियु सिमतंगदी हाइजनिंगी.
Apart from the abduction, IED blasts were also suffered by the people of the state. One of the blasts targeted a small dry cleaning shop owned by a non-local named Bijay Raja at Moranghom, Imphal West. While Raja escaped the attack, 2 passerbys were injured and 1 car parked outside the shop was damaged. Local people rushed to the spot and thoroughly condemned the attacks on both locals and non-locals unleashed by the militants, even as the police continued their investigations to find out the culprits.
कोइसे दुकान मनुंग दे लेबा अदे दुकान मनुंग देगी मखोलम तायने थोलकपदने ngsaigi maifu sina pumam leirame leibasi da magi dobi gi je loin kindhar leirame leibasi ngsaigi asomna kanda ahal lamok sop charaga tholokpa ahanduma sokhare ado sumaina mi marakta bom langchalaga koi praja mayam da aki akhang phawon ba adagi sumaina khoi de angang nubi mapan thokhrjo khoi de yam nungai da ba ma pungning da phawi ado sumaina tawbagi mahuta kari kari leibage haibado yanaba ma hangnaraga noina pamdaba leiraga su mayam da haibi ba phai madu makhoi da su atamna na tawba su nungaite ado sumaina sugumba thokdokse matungda mohna thon biganu mase yumlak na kawi sorok mi main road su yamna mi kungna chakhraba phamsida sumaina bom langchen ba haibase yamna wakhan yaudaba khoi mioi bagi kari haini.
The war memorials of Arunachal Pradesh are a must-visit for any tourist to the state. They are standing proofs of the fact that India will not leave any stone unturned to thwart of any mischievous move by China against this most beautiful frontier state.
Arunachal Pradesh, the final frontier of our country bordering China, has always risen against Chinese aggression from times immemorial. History is borne out by the monuments like Tawang War Memorial, built in memory of soldiers of the Indian Army who gave up their lives in the 1962 Indo-Sino War. Located on a slope just before reaching the main Tawang town, the 40-feet stupa-shaped structure built by the Indian Army, called Namgyal Chautan by the locals here, bear the names of the 2,420 soldiers who had laid down their lives in the coming sector to fight off the Chinese. The fluttering flags of the many countries is a symbol of peace and harmony that India stands for, and reminds all of the ugliness of war in which humanity always loses. A few kilometers away at Nuranang, near the Sela Lake and Pass, is Jaswantgarh, another war memorial, this one dedicated to Rifleman Jaswant Singh Rawat of the 4th Battalion of Garhwal Rifles, who had showed his immense valor and love for the motherland by single-handedly holding the invading Chinese back at 10,000 feet altitude for 72 hours, armed only with some hand grenades during the 1962 aggression. Jaswant Singh was bestowed posthumously with Mahavir Chakra. His memorial includes a very touching tribute which brings tears to every eye. Soldiers posted in this hilly remote state never fail to salute Jaswant Singh for his valor, even as the army ensures that he is served bed tea at 4:30 am, breakfast at 9 am and dinner at 7 pm every day as though he were alive. Apart from the armed forces, local people of Arunachal Pradesh too have always joined in to thwart the Chinese. People of the state are proud to be Indians.
हम तो यहाँ हम लोग इस अरुणाचल का जो एक पार्ट है वो भी एक इंडिया का पार्ट है. हम लोग का ये जो अरुणाचल है जो बोलता है आदमी लोग की बहुत लोग ये कहते हैं वो कहते हैं, हम इससे हम ये सब बातें हम नहीं सुनते हैं. हम इंडियन है, हम इंडियन रहेंगे. हमारे यहाँ इलेक्शन होता है और पंचायत इलेक्शन होता है, जनरल इलेक्शन होता है, सब कुछ होता है यहाँ में, क्योंकि हम भी एक इंडियन का एक सिटीजनशिप है हम भी यहाँ का. तो हम ये चाहता है कि हम भी अगर इंडियन का एक सिटीजनशिप है तो हमारे यहाँ भी डेवलप होना चाहिए. हमारे यहाँ भी हर चीज़ आना चाहिए जो दूसरा स्टेट्स में मिलता है। हम यही चाहता है कि दूसरा स्टेट्स में जो डेवलप होता है ये हमारे भी यहाँ अरुणाचल में हो, क्योंकि वी आर ऑल्सो इंडियन और आई एम प्राउड ऑफ इंडियन।